All right, and we're live. So this is Sam from Chalice and Chains, and today I've organized a quick D&D one-shot, 5th edition, first level, through the RPG one-shot Facebook group. So basically the premise tonight is everybody is playing Sprites, one of the Fey creatures from the Monster Manual. Going to be defending their village of Fenn against some nasty creatures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the players introduce themselves. Just kind of maybe give a brief introduction of your character, name, class, whatever you want to say. If you have any YouTube channel or anything you want to plug, that's fine as well. So I think I'll start with Dan. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Dan. Today I will be playing a sprite wizard by the name of Nocturne Soul Necrius, and she'll have a mix of different types of spells that will kind of ebb and flow from the natural realm. She'll be very tiny and kind of black. She'll be kind of dressed in the garb of the Black Lily, and that's what'll form up her dress and stuff.
Awesome. All right, Jane. I guess you'll go next.
All right. Hi. This is completely my first time playing 5e, and also playing on Google Hangouts. So I'm pretty excited about this. No YouTube channel yet, but I'm thinking about one. I just don't know yet what to do. I'm playing a Sprite Rogue. Her name is 616, and she's just in, just some light leather, just very flighty, just, very kind of, I don't know, just kind of just cute little one, but just, you know that there's a danger about her, or something that you're not sure whether you can trust her or not.
Awesome. All right. Cool. Up next.
All right. I'm Marquise Hardis. I'm with this channel, Stereotypical Strider, put up live plays and all that. Today I'm playing the sprite Silver Mist, who is a fighter who allows his emotions to guide his arrow and his blade.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys. So we'll get started. You guys, like I mentioned in the description here, are from the Fey village of Fenn, a small village made up, of pixies, and sprites tend to be the defenders of these villages. It's within the Mistwood, which is a wood mostly inhabited by elven folk. And for the most part, it's fairly peaceful. But, you always have the guard, and the guard is always on patrol. You guys have formed somewhat of a bond. You guys have been on guard patrol together and have had some skirmishes in the past. Nothing major, maybe a badger here or there coming in and and wreaking a little bit of chaos, but you guys have always managed to defend the village. And so right now you guys are out on patrol, and you guys are kind of flying along when you hear this piercing shriek from the sky, and you look up and you guys realize that off in the distance, you can see these red feathered creatures, and you know these creatures to be the sprite's mortal enemies. These are bloodhawks, and bloodhawks are fairly dangerous, and they're aggressive, and so they are kind of coming in at a distance. They would close in game terms in about 2 rounds on you guys. Now, there's 4 of them in the air, and normally the procedure for, for sprites when they're out on patrol is that one will return and warn the village, and the other 2 will try to at least delay the enemy getting to getting to the village until the other member can come back. And you guys will use whatever tactics you need to, to do that. You don't have to warn the village; it's not a requirement, but that is the standard. So what I'm going to do is you guys see them coming in the distance, and I'm going to leave it up to you to decide what you want to do from here.
How many Bloodhawks do we see?
You see what it looks like 4.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So Silvermist seeing these 4 Bloodhawks, the first thing he feels is overwhelming fear because they are his natural enemy and everything. So his wings, which are space state they're violet as they buzz behind him, just turn white, and he pauses for a second, and he whistles to alert everyone else. And then as he's doing that, like his emotions instantly just kind of chaotically flip right there. So now he's enraged by the fact that Bloodhawks are just coming into the village, trying to do the whole Bloodhawk eating Sprite thing, which he honestly does not like or appreciate. So then his wings just kind of turn like beet red, and he flies off and through the trees and everything, and he suddenly just turns invisible. And he's hoping one of you two go and alert the village because he's pretty much moving straight towards them now in invisibility.
Awesome.
So, Nocturne, being kind of a dark sprite and not really very powerful or melee-oriented, she kind of sees these Bloodhawks approaching. She knows the protocol, and she'll kind of Sprites in Sylvan and say, "I'll warn the village and be back." And with that, she'll poof into invisibility also and fly as fast as she can back towards the village. How far off from the village are we?
It would take you about 3 rounds to get to the village, and about 3 rounds to get back at full flying speed.
Okay, so if there's like anyone on the outskirts of the village, she'll try to go she'll try not to go any further than she has to. So if she can relay the message to someone else, she'll try. But she'll try to be as swift as she can about it.
Okay. Yeah. Great. All right, and so we got Pixel Sticks. All right, Pixel, what are you going to do while Nocturne heads off and Silvermist goes invisible here? And you are muted, so.
Where is it that I could like stealth behind? Because I'm like thinking I want to watch them to see which direction that they're going. I know that we're getting ready to have someone's going to go warn them, and so I know that immediately I'm just going to kind of like want to stealth behind what would that look like around where we are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and keep in mind you can go invisible at any point as well, but you are traveling through the forest at just below canopy level. Your village is made up kind of almost like an elven tree village, only obviously much smaller. It's it's within the branches, and then kind of snaking down, and there are structures on the ground as well. All kind of built into the natural features of the forest. So you guys are flitting through the trees and the foliage. On a standard patrol, you didn't expect much, so nobody was on high alert per se. But when Bloodhawks show up, that's a whole new ball game. So if you want to hide, you certainly can.
I'd like to.
You guys know. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys know too that because you have invisibility, the Hawks aren't going to see you. So you'll be able to kind of plan your move that way.
All right. Well, then I guess I could just, since I do have invisibility, I'll go ahead and do that and just still watch what it is that they're going to do. Can I tell what direction they're coming towards? Like, are they coming towards the village or?
Yeah. So you guys pretty much were coming out of the village, and you just kind of do a circuit. And so they're heading right towards the village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I just start following behind them, I guess. invisible if I can fly invisible.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you can stay invisible until you either make an attack, if you were to take damage, or if you were to cast a spell, although you don't have
Okay.
spells as a rogue right now. So, yeah, so that's fine. So you can do that. So they're coming in, and you see that they're flying kind of, two by two, two here, and then kind of two a little bit further down, elevation-wise. So if you guys want to wait until they kind of either pass you or are near you so that you have, you can kind of strike at them from behind or whatever, that's fine. But keep in mind that it would be about, 3 turns until you reach the village. So
So what Silver Mist is doing is like, he lets them, they go flying past and everything. He flew off to the side somewhere invisible. And just basically a second after they fly by, he pulls out his bow, knocks it on, and when he lets it go, his invisibility shatters. But the dust, but that's not the dust. The arrow's going flying towards the Bloodhawks in the front, and it's just, it's releasing like a trail of like dust, like fairy dust behind it to try and get their attention. And he kind of just floats there in the open, waiting for them to turn around and come back at him. So I'm going to go ahead and roll an
yeah,
attack for that. So that's a
um,
9 plus 6, it's 15.
yeah, you hit. So you're
Alright.
intending to hit them, right?
Yeah, I'm intending to hit one of the ones in the front to
Okay.
try to get all 4 back towards me.
Okay. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's a hit.
Alright.
And so you can roll, d6 plus your dex mod in this case for damage.
That's going to be 9 damage.
All right. So you severely injure one. Your arrow goes, strikes true. And if you want, I'll go ahead and let you describe what that looks like. It's not dead, but it's almost.
So the thing about sprites, since they are Fae, everything they do is inherently magical in some way. So as this arrow comes down and it hits straight through one of the hawk's wings, there's like an explosion of like violet dust and everything. And the dust is kind of all of it is like pointing back as a trail back to where Silver Mist is. And anyone looking at him will see that his wings are now like basically like an angry, like blood red color, and he's just sitting there smirking, waiting for them to come back at him.
Nice, nice. All right, yeah, that's great. So that's cool. That's what happens. So if Pixel wants to, and then do you want to take a move action as well, or are you?
Nope, I'm gonna wait to
Nope.
see if they turn back towards me, and if they do, then I want to start moving.
Okay, great. So what we'll do then, yeah, they definitely notice you, and they kind of all 4 of them kind of turn at once. And Nocturne, you're flying, and you hear this shriek from behind you as one of these hawks shrieks out in pain, and you're just flying as fast as you possibly can, towards the village to try to alert them. And you're scanning the ground back and forth, and you do see one of the pixies that normally kind of works with the animals on the ground. You recognize her, and she's kind of just doing her thing on the ground there. So if you want, you can alert her.
All right, I would dart quickly down to where she is, and when I see her, I would drop my invisibility, probably catching her a little off guard, but probably not too much since they're used to other sprites using invisibility. And as I do, I would say, "There's Bloodhawks approaching! Quick! Back to the village! Alert them so they can prepare." And I'll say all that in Sylvan, and almost before she can even respond, I'll puff back into invisibility and start returning towards where they came from.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and she kind of lets out a little bit of a shriek, just of surprise as you come, out of invisibility there for a minute. But she quickly recovers and realizes, oh man, Bloodhawks, these are our natural enemies. So yeah, so she starts streaking off towards the village, flying as fast as she can. And yeah, she definitely does that. And so you said you were going to head back, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. All right, and what is Pixel going to do? And we can't hear you, so I don't know if you're muted or not.
Her mic is not working, I think.
She might have to type it up.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we got. All right, well, we are going to... All right, so it looks like she's going to, attempt to fire at a different Bloodhawk that that was doing that. So if you want, go ahead. If you can use Dice Stream, or if you want to roll your own dice, you can, just post it in the chat. We might have, I don't know, Christopher might be able to join us here, so that's cool if he's able to get in.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can, yeah.
Okay, so what dice do I roll again?
So D20 for the attack.
Okay.
Yep. And so in Dice Stream, you'll just literally click on the plus next to the D20, and then you hit roll.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So 13, so you hit. You don't even need to add your modifier, but normally you would add your +6 to that roll for so now you can roll a D6. Okay, and then you'll add 4 for your dexterity modifier, so you're dealing 6 damage to it. Awesome. So that's not enough to drop it, but you definitely score a hit. And you said you fired with your arrow, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Why don't you go ahead and describe kind of what your attack looks like and how you kind of make that attack.
So as I'm like flying and swooping in behind this Bloodhawk, I have my short bow equipped, and I'm just bringing it forward, putting a little bow on there, or I'm sorry, an arrow, and then I just just let it go, and I just sit, I just look at her and say, I'm gonna get you, and just let it spring, and then when I find that I hit, I just kind of just give this smirk, and just that'll show them.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And it, as you hit it, you kind of hit it sort of not on the wing but on the tail, and it kind of veers off a little bit, like it almost, in a collision course, and it manages to avoid one of its fellows, but just barely. And it lets out this horrible shriek of pain, and it's like, and clearly, clearly you did some damage. You can see your arrow kind of sticking out of it, and it's having a hard time flying here. So, so that's good. But now they all converge on you, and right now, they're going to go 2-on-2, or 2-on-1, I should say. So each of you guys is going to, take a look at a Bloodhawk here and see what they've got. So, let's see. Silver Mist, you get to be the unfortunate victim of the first attack here, and let's see what we got. You said you had the 14 armor class, right?
15. This is the wizard
15.
of the 14.
Yep, 15. Okay. So this one, kind of comes diving in at you, and it comes at you with its beak, and you manage to kind of, hover almost like in place but backwards, like with this amazing agility, just barely missing its blow. You can feel the beat of its wings and the wind kind of almost buffet you back a little bit, but you manage to avoid it. But its companion comes in right behind you, or right behind that one, and that one misses definitely.
Mm.
So he's not even close. You manage to kind of agilely dodge out of the way. So yeah, so you're good there. Go ahead.
Okay, so is one of these hawks the one I almost killed earlier?
Yep, yep, and
Okay, so go ahead.
it's almost dead. Yeah.
All right. So as that hawk came through and everything, it's diving at me. I kind of like I barrel rolled out of the way, and as I did, I in the same motion I put away my bow. I kind of just like I leapt at it with my with my long sword out. I'm gonna roll to hit for that. That's an 18 plus 6,
Alrighty. Yep. Yeah, that hits.
and that is a total of 2 plus 4. Do you want to add dex mod to that, or just take the 2?
Yeah, no, you'd add Dex mod to it.
All right,
So
so that is going to be 2 plus 4. Sorry, 2. Yeah, 2 plus 4. 6 damage total.
cool. Alrighty. So yeah, you kill it. If you want to describe the killing blow.
So, I'm barely rolling out the way and everything. My long cord basically comes leaping out by itself almost, it would seem, with the speed that it came out. And it just hits this thing right in the throat. And as the blood is coming out and everywhere, I'm agile, like dodging the drops of blood. And I'm going to come up like right underneath it and then fly into the air. And as I'm doing this, my wings are now black, as is like my hair and both my eyes, just completely all black there. I end my turn.
Nice, nice. All right, cool. All right, and so the other two hawks come screaming down at Pixel. First, the one with the arrow in its tail seems unnaturally angry. These are definitely predators. They are the natural enemy of the Fey folk, and the elves and stuff obviously don't have any problem with them, but people of your size, so it's got a reason to want to hurt you, and it definitely comes at you, and as it goes to attack, because of the arrow sticking out of its tail, it actually knocks into its friend, on kind of an odd, sort of collision, and knocks him out of the way, preventing him from, being able to attack. He has to kind of, work his way back in, into combat. So they haven't left your threat range, but that other one was not able to attack because this guy, this one was he basically had a critical failure. So nice. All right, so Nocturne, you are not quite back yet. You will be back at the end of this next turn, so you'll be able to engage in the fight. But we have Silver Mist back, top of the order.
So, Silver Mist, so how close is the other hawk to me? Is it within 5 feet, or?
Yes.
Alright. So, knowing that this thing is pretty much too close to comfort, and I don't have my other companion here to really, cement the deal, I'm going to disengage from it by, batting some pixie dust into its eyes and everything, and then turn and just start flying, not to the village, but, like, at an angle, like, away, but also to the village, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm just ducking through trees and foliage and branches and all that as I fly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely pursues you. It feels like, the smart thing would probably be to stick with its other two companions, but it wants you, especially now that you've killed its companion. Yeah. So it goes after you. So you're kind of chasing kind of away from the combat area here.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and Pixel, you are up.
So the one that I shot at, he just pretty much just failed any attempt at shooting at me, right? Or coming after me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like give him a rude gesture. And then go ahead and just, as I put another bow, just point the bow at him like this one's for you and shoot at him again.
Okay, absolutely. Now, what I'm going to say is you can back up far enough that you can get out of a 5-foot range.
Okay.
But what it is, because if you attack with a bow, in melee range. In
Okay.
5th edition, I think you're attacking at disadvantage. So, which would mean you would take 2d20 and take the lower result.
Right.
But if you do decide to do that, you would be Actually, no. In this case, you could do that. You wouldn't be disengaging from its area because they kind of, because of the critical failure. So you can do that without provoking an attack of opportunity. So
Okay,
so still go ahead and roll your attack. But you probably want to back up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I'll back up then, just to be able to do that. And as I'm doing that and pointing that bow at him, that one arrow at that one, and then shoot at him.
Perfect. So yeah, you roll your d20.
Yeah, that was. Do you see the 18 up there?
Yep, perfect. Yeah, so that's definitely a hit. And are you shooting at the same one that you targeted before?
Yes, because
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that one down.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, go ahead and roll your d6. What'd you get, a 5?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you take him out, definitely. So you can go ahead and describe your killing blow.
All right, so, well, okay. As I see him coming towards me, I'm backing up and I'm putting my, arrow in my crossbow or my little short bow and pointing at him like, this one's for you. With, at the same time, just kind of giving him a rude gesture, and then shooting at him, and I see it just kind of like go right into, I guess, his neck or whatever, and I just give this kind of like little, just like, I gotcha, MF, or and he just watch him as he just, I guess, falls out of the air.
All right, awesome. Yeah, and he does that, and he almost gives a shriek of pain, but then it's cut off short as the bolt goes through his neck or the arrow goes through his neck, and he just plummets, and you see him crash through the foliage, and he almost actually as Nocturne is streaking in here just as fast as he can to re-engage, it almost hits him, and he kind of maneuvers quickly out of the way with his sprite agility here. He's like, it's like, whoa. But yeah, so no, that's cool. And so yeah, so your arrow flew true on that one. Awesome. And so now we get to the Hawks again. So let's see, we've got 2 left. The one chasing after Silver Mist is going to attempt to attack him here. And that's a hit. So he comes streaking down at you, he kind of got above you and is trying to get some leverage to make like a little bit of a, lunging hit, and hits you for 4 points of damage as his beak just kind of claws through, the armor that you have, and you can feel the blood kind of. He misses your wing, fortunately, but definitely gets like your shoulder blade.
So when that happens, like the beat just comes through, and Silver Mist, like, he was being kind of cocky, kind of arrogant from his earlier easy kill, so he turns to kind of like smile and say something to the Bloodhawk, and as he does, the beat just comes basically hitting him straight in the stomach and chest, and he kind of rolls off his back as blood goes flying from the wound, and they kind of, they separate a little bit there in midair.
Nice, yeah, absolutely. And you see the hawk attempt to sort of grab at you with its talons as you kind of fall away, but you manage to, even though you were injured and surprised by the attack, you're still, a warrior sprite, and you kind of duck out of the way. So, all right. And then the other one, having just witnessed its companion be killed by a pixie, is in a bit of a rage for as much as a hawk can be, and it definitely attacks, and it would help if I actually click the right button here. Okay, and it hits. So Pixel is going to feel ouch. So you're going to take 6 points of damage as this thing just, its beak again kind of, rips into you, what happens is it goes and it kind of comes down at you, grabs you with its talon, and then kind of rips at you with its beak. And when that happens, you disengage from its talons, but it's definitely left a nasty gash on you. And if you want to describe anything about that, you can.
Oh yeah, I've just basically just go like this and just screech out in horror and extreme pain because I'm down pretty low right now, and so just I don't know, I guess and just start even tumbling and falling down to the ground because at this point it hurts so much, and just I have this gaping gash on my side from where the talons gripped at me.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. And it's at this point that you notice through your kind of, the pain, and you're kind of squinting through that as you all of a sudden had that like blinding pain, and you see that Nocturne has re-entered, re-engaged, and so it's sort of like the scene in Top Gun where Maverick comes back and it's like so. He is back, so you, Nocturne, can take your action now. You see basically that scene before you where you saw Silver Mist kind of flying off, towards you. He kind of was almost streaking past you, and the hawk kind of, got him in, distance of you, and Pixel was also, right there. So you can attack either.
All right, so I was invisible, and I kind of made it back, and as I was making it back, trying to fly up higher than where these hawks were so I could kind of look down at them and have a clear target, I kind of fly in, and I see all this mess kind of arrive, and as I fly in, I'll call to the others, I've notified the town. Help is on the way. We should have aid coming soon, which Chris is here now, so that should help. And as such, I'll see this hawk kind of rip into Pixel. I'll be like, Pixel. And I'll scream, Pixel, and I'll call to the Blood Hawk, shrivel and die. And as I do, this ghostly spectral hand will kind of appear, and it will reach down below me towards this hawk. And roll for chill touch. That would be 16.
Okay, yeah.
And
that hits for sure.
That would be for 6 damage on it.
Okay. Nice. And why
So
don't yeah.
So this ghostly, almost skeletal type hand seems to reach down through the air to grab the hawk, and as it does, you can see some of the feathers just kind of deteriorating and just shriveling up as it touches it, just decaying away.
Awesome. Yeah, and it gives out this shriek, and it seems almost disoriented for a minute as it did not expect that to happen. And yeah, you can see the feathers, which are normally, this blood red color, they're still red, but their color is muted a little bit, and like you said, you can see kind of this, almost like a frost, kind of on some of the feathers. So it's definitely, angry at this. And as you guys are finally engaged in combat, Chris, I'm going to let you introduce your character here in just a minute, but you are normally part of, this, this Sprite team that was patrolling, and you were delayed in your patrol because you had business to attend to, but you now have realized that the village is potentially under attack and your friends are under attack, and so you will be able to quickly leave the village and rejoin your group. But if you want, go ahead and just introduce your character. if you have like a YouTube channel or anything you want to plug, go ahead and do that. You know, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Then the foil wing. She flutters through the forest, trying to rejoin her group back in the village, dodging left and right, trying to fly through as fast as possible. Her short brown hair fluttering through the wind as her bright blue wings just, almost a blur. I have nothing to plug, so none right now anyway. So I'm just gonna let you take over.
Leave it at that?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, you're streaking through the village. It's going to take you it's going to take you about 3 rounds to get there. Although we're going to say your first round has already passed to where your friends are. So I'll just let you know that. But we are now actually back at the top of the order. So we are going to have Silver Mist. Actually, nope, there was one more hawk left. Let me do that. Oh no, sorry, there wasn't because they both attacked. My bad. So yeah, we are back at the top of the order.
All right, so as Silver Mist was bouncing off the hawk's back and everything, he's now flying through the air, and like for just a second, anyone looking at him will just see his body just kind of freeze midair and everything, and there's an explosion of fey dust where he is, and he's going to basically use second one as a bonus action. Mechanically, that's what this is. So he regains the 4 HP he lost, and he comes flying out of the pixie dust, and everything. His wound completely healed, long sword out, and just shooting directly at the Bloodhawk to try and tear through it with his long sword.
Nice.
All right, so that's a 16 on the die.
Yep. So you hit.
All right. And that is a 5 plus 9 damage.
Nice. So you got 9 damage?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So I think that one was uninjured. So you slash into him and you almost kill him, but he's not quite dead.
All right.
Yeah. And you see this massive gash in his wing. You've almost separated it, in fact, and he's basically having a hard time even just maintaining, flight. In fact, you see that he's starting to descend. He can't remain in flight any longer. He's trying to disengage from the fight, and mechanically he does. He uses a disengage action. But which will be on his turn. But he can't stand up to that assault anymore.
And as he's disengaging, I wouldn't chase him. I would just kind of I would fly circles over where he's landing, kind of like a buzzard does over fresh prey.
Nice. Alrighty, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. All right, and Pixel, you're up. You still have your hawk there. He is injured but not dead. Oh, and you're muted. Yep.
Okay, after that last one, I was actually just tumbling down because I had this big, huge gash on my side. So I would like to disengage from that and continue following. And as I hit the ground, I just kind of roll and turn invisible.
Okay, gotcha. So what I'm going to do then in this case is I'm going to have you roll your d20 to make a stealth check.
Okay.
Yep, and he's going to try to spot you. Oh God, he's not. What did you get? You got a 1. Ooh, wow. So my 3 actually was a good roll here. So yeah, so as you kind of streak to the ground, trying to disengage and get out of combat, because you've been bloodied pretty good, and you kind of go through. You go through this and you kind of land behind a tree, and for a minute you kind of duck behind this foliage, and you're like, yes, I'm out of here, I'm hidden, and then you see the hawk let out this shriek, and he comes just barreling down at you, and in fact, he is going to attack. Oh, Ouch.
It was nice knowing you, Pixel 6.
Yep. But you'll get to learn about death throws now, so that's cool. Or death saves. 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. All right, and so I believe you were at what, 2 before, so you're at -4. Okay.
Yeah, so you basically, I'm sitting there. I roll down behind this foliage, and I'm like, yes, thinking I got away from them. Next thing I know, I just it feels like this hot poker just going through my side, the same gash just piercing right through me, and I'm stunned and just barely say anything, and just kind of croak there for a second, and just I'm still.
Yep, absolutely. And just mechanically as well, one of your companions can also make a medicine roll to stabilize you, if they so choose, and if they pass, you will then not take any more damage. So.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, so you fall to the ground after that attack, and you know what? I'm going to roll for it, actually. The bird decides that.
Also, James, for your convenience, I outlined in the chat the death saving throw rules and everything for you.
I got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to disengage from you, and he's going to go back and try to re-engage in combat, which is interesting because normally the Bloodhawks won't do that when they're outnumbered, but this one seems particularly angry. However, Nocturne gets to go.
Alright, so having seen him dive after Pixel, and being a ways away, I'll try to kind of keep my distance, fly to about 60 feet above him, which I guess is still probably giving chase a little bit. And I'll say, Pixel, look out! And as I do, I'll kind of fire down towards him this ray of frost.
Awesome.
And that would be an 11.
An 11. All right. Your ray of frost comes streaking down at him, and at the last minute, it's almost like he senses it supernaturally, and he just kind of ducks down, in the sky, and just kind of does this really agile move, just barely missing it. You can see just the very tips of his feathers get frosted a little bit. As he manages to avoid your ray of frost. So.
And that's why you don't yell at your enemies before you shoot magic at them.
Well, that's a good point. Nice. And so, Chris, how do you pronounce your character's name? Zenma? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So you feel this, almost like your deity is calling to you, saying, you're needed, your aid is needed, and you're just, you put on this burst of speed, like you're just, weaving through with just this unnatural grace, trying to get to your companions as quick as you can. You're almost there, but you also get this sense that while you're needed, you feel like you're probably, you get this sort of this urgency, but also this sense of peace. Like if you don't make it there right now, your companions probably aren't going to die. So you have that sort of comfort feeling, but you never know.
Right. And
yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
go
please,
ahead.
you.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
No. All right. Right. And Zenma's going to let that reassurance just double double her resolve, and she's going to fly furiously fast. She's going to take the dash action and fly 80 feet in the direction I should be going. And if she is within, excuse me, who is the downed player?
Pixel is down, unconscious on the ground.
If at all possible, can I get there within 40 feet or 80? Either one?
Yeah, so you won't be able to get there this round, but you've basically, because you've taken the dash action, you are right at the sort of the radius of this this area. So on your next turn, you will be able to act.
Alrighty. Alright, cool. So yeah, I'm going to take the dash action and fly as fast and furiously as possible through these trees. And that will be my turn. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Alright, so I believe we are back to Silver Mist. I believe we have, Silver Mist's guy has disengaged, and he is sort of, kind of flying off. And then we've got the other Bloodhawk who has now come back and is kind of trying to re-engage in combat.
All right, so just to clarify, so one of them, because you said last time I was trying to land, so one of them's landing and another one's trying to fight me? Is what I'm getting from
Not
it?
necessarily trying to fight you, but is coming back in like he's going to fight somebody. But yeah, the one that you had seriously injured basically can't fly anymore, so it's going to try to get out of the sky, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let it go to the sky, and I whistle out, Nocturne, if you could take care of the other one for me. And I'm still flying circles around the one that's now landed, and my wings is still black, but still taking on that violent, almost playful tint again. And as I'm a Fae, and a very chaotic Fae, and a Fae who is pushed on by emotions, I string an arrow and I loose the arrow. I'm not actually aiming for it. I'm aiming to hit in front of the Bloodhawk to kind of scare it. And if I do scare it with the arrow and everything, I'm just kind of like chuckling and laughing to myself, and even like humming a little, Sprite tune, as I'm being unnecessarily cruel to it. But as a Fae, I just take a bunch of amusement from this. So I just keep, going in a little circle around it, just dropping arrows around it to scare it off, and it keeps scaring it basically.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and you do. You fire an arrow. It actually had landed on the lower boughs of one of the trees nearby, and you kind of fire an arrow at it, and it goes, and chunk right into the, like right in front of it into the wood. And it lets off this startled, kind of jump, and then this little shriek, and then it, it actually descends further down to the ground, trying to, as much as it can, even on its damaged wing, still trying to get out of there because it's terrified. Yeah.
And I let out this girlish giggle as I hear it squawk, and I'm slowly descending after it. And that's my time.
Nice. All right. Awesome. Okay, so Pixel, you get to make your first death saving throw. So you basically just roll your d20.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I believe it's unmodified, if I remember correctly. I don't think you had well, you guys don't have Constitution modifiers anyway, so.
Yeah, it's unmodified.
Yeah, so 15. All right, so you've stabilized. So you will no longer take damage. Unless you're attacked again, but you are not going to die this round, so that's good. Awesome. However, that hawk is still flying up above, and Nocturne, you get to take your action.
Alright, so again seeing the hawk that was like 60 feet from me returning towards combat, I'm going to kind of open my wings and almost like backdraft, fly back another 20 feet. So kind of bringing the gap up to 80 now. And again, I'm going to kind of motion and bring my hands down and say, "Die, you fiend." And as I do so, and I seem to be closing my hands, this ghostly hand will appear in front of the hawk and try to grasp down on it. So that'll be another chill touch.
Awesome.
And that's only a 10, so that's not going to make it.
Yeah. Do you want to describe the miss?
Sure. So this ghostly hand tries to reach out and grab, but as I flew back, that extra 20 feet, I kind of misjudged the distance, and it just kind of swipes down in front of it and just misses entirely.
Perfect, perfect. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, by the way, guys, when if you guys do, make an attack roll or whatever and you fail, go ahead and describe that. Describe what that, what that looks like, how that works, because that's much more fun than when I do it. So, all right, great. So we're good there. So the hawk at this point is starting to rethink this whole thing, and it's now realizing that there are, two combatants. It notices, Zenma coming in the other way, and it's deciding that it does not want to tangle with you guys anymore. So it is going to attempt to flee the area, but because both of you guys still have, actions that you can take on your next round, it will not be able to completely leave the area if you guys still want to attack it. So Silver Mist, because it's not going to take an attack action, and it was the last action, sort of you now have the initiative. You can choose to make an action if you wish, or you can let it go.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure the cripple hawk down below, because we're talking about the one that's not crippled, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the crippled hawk down below is not really going anywhere anytime soon, so I can come back and have some more fun and games with it later. So seeing the other hawk leaving, I quickly knock it out and just let it fly, pixie dust trailing after it and everything. And then I want to fly after it, even if I miss, just to make sure I can keep track on it, because I want to hunt this thing down. So it's 14 plus 6.
That's
and
it.
then that is going to be 2 plus 6 damage I do to it.
Yeah, and you kill it.
Oh, I kill it.
Right. Yeah, it was damaged. So if you want, go ahead and describe the killing blow and then kind of what you do.
And this is to the non-damaged one, or this is to the non-cripple one, right? Just to make sure.
Right, yeah, this was yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's flying away and everything, and I'm like, I don't like having my fun in my games and all disturbed. So again, my wings just quickly go a mixture of black and red, and I turn, and almost in the blink of an eye, I release the arrow, and it goes whistling through the air, kind of like the whisper of the wind on the leaves and everything behind it. And it comes and impacts directly on the back of the hawk's head, going straight through the skull and everything. And as it dies, I don't even pay attention. I just look back to the other hawk that's like hobbling on the ground and everything, and I just keep like slowly falling and circling over it, resuming my games and all that.
Nice, yeah, and no, that's great. And you actually see the hawk that was on the ground. Notice, its fallen comrade, and it's trying to sort of half hobble, half kind of flap its way, to cover, to try to get out of the way. But yeah, we are now out of combat. You guys have been victorious, and it's at this point that Zenma comes just streaking in and almost has to come to like a stop, like a hummingbird kind of going into its like hover mode, as he realizes what's happening, and as he sees this one hawk kind of getting just pummeled by by his companion, and that whole thing. So you enter the scene on that note.
All right. She rockets in, puts on the air brakes, and then makes a quick scan of the environment, sees Pixel, and realizes exactly what her deity warned her about, and flies over and casts Cure Wounds on her.
Okay. Perfect.
Pull out Cure Wounds. Right there. Alrighty. You get... Where is my DA? 6 plus 2, so 10 hit points back, and I put my hand on your shoulder, and a bright green glow emanates from me, and you feel much better, and you start to You start to realize you can get off the ground. You're much better now.
Awesome. And Pixel, I'm actually, if you don't mind, go ahead and describe what that's like to come from, being unconscious to, to being healed and all that.
Right. So I'm like laying there, just everything's just all black, and I start feeling this warmth on my shoulder, and it's starting to spread all the way down my side, and it's just kind of like this. You almost hear kind of like a light, that crackle sound that crackling fire makes, and just this warmth come down my side as my wounds on the side just starts to heal up and close up, and I start to rouse up a little bit and just slowly come conscious or get to consciousness as I can feel this heat just. It's centered on my shoulders and went all the way down to where my wound was, and then starting to spread out a little bit, but concentrating, so that it can heal up. And I start to rouse a little bit, and I'm just dazed and just looking around. I don't even really know where I am. I'm just kind of just wondering, what's been up, and not really remembering just the last few seconds of what had happened.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's really cool. And in fact, all of you guys, inspiration, because those descriptions were great. And so Jane, just so you know, inspiration basically can be used to re-roll another d20. So before you officially know the result, if you're like, boy, I don't like that roll, I want to use my point of inspiration to roll another d20, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys all have a point of inspiration. And you guys all know now that your compatriot, the cleric, is here, woohoo, and has certainly saved Pixel from near death. So what
Silvermist acknowledges this, but he's still pretty enthralled in his game of, I guess basically it's torture. So he sees this and he nods to him, so he's like, all right, Pixel's going to make it, then that means I can continue doing this. And he blinks into invisibility. And then he's going to reappear directly in front of the hawk, And when he does this, he's pretty careless about it because he's underestimating the hawk, and he's really cocksure right now. So if it did attack him, I would just go in and say it would have advantage on him, or he would have disadvantage or whatever, because he's not really being defensive. He's just trying to basically screw with the hawk when he reappears in front of it.
Okay, but he's going to attack it?
No, he's not attacking it. He's just appearing in front of it, and it's like, ha-ha, basically just trying to scare it some more.
Right, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, no, definitely. So you appear right in front of it, and he actually is so startled. He does attack, but yeah, he's going to attack at disadvantage because it's almost like a startling attack. Yeah, and he's he kind of almost swats at you with his with one of his his taloned feet, but because he's so injured, it actually kind of knocks him off balance, and he tumbles a little bit onto the ground in front of you, and is just kind of, laying there just broken and defeated.
And I'm just giggling like a little schoolgirl who just saw the funniest thing ever happen, just floating above it, just nonstop giggling and laughter as it falls over.
Yeah.
That's
and it doesn't get up. It's actually, it looks like this fall has sort of re-aggravated, the wound, and it's slowly starting to bleed out.
What? Can I do a medicine check to stabilize it?
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
Let me see what my wisdom is real quick.
Yeah.
That's
I think
+1.
+1, yeah. Basically, you just need a 10.
I didn't stabilize it.
Oh. so, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm really sad, and I'm poking everything. I'm like, get up! And I start shaking everything. I'm like, just get up! And out of frustration, I take my longsword, I just shove it into its chest.
Yep, and you kill it, and you feel an immense satisfaction, but also kind of that, like, oh man, I was having fun here. But yeah, the mortal enemy of the pixies was defeated, and I think who is taking damage besides Pixel?
Silver Mist did, but he second winded it, and so he's basically at full health right now.
Full health. Okay, gotcha. And Nocturne did not take any. Is that right?
Nope, I'm fine.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys are pretty much, for the most part, doing pretty good, almost back to full health, or some of you are back to full health. And the protocol in this case is that you would continue on with your circuit, to make sure that the area is clear, and especially now that there were those Bloodhawks in the area. If they were here, it's possible that something else could be here as well. So, but that's up to you.
Silver Mist is gonna regroup with everybody else. He's like, hey everybody, how'd your game go over here? And kind of like he's gonna land on a branch, just kind of cross his legs and wait for him to answer.
Who's he saying that to?
The entire party, because they're all gathered in one spot. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Pixel, I'm just kind of like just sitting up, just kind of like rubbing my side, and it's still, hurting, and just crouched over a little bit and saying, yeah, man, did you see those Bloodhawks? I wonder what they're doing around here. We need to go back out and find out where they're coming from and why they're here. And I stand up to move as if I'm going to start flying, but I'm kind of, you can tell I'm favoring the side because it's still rather bruised, and just, I'm trying not to hurt it again.
Yes, their appearance is certainly a bad omen. We should look into this further and see if there's more trouble on the horizon.
I mean, I guess we have to, but I really don't want to because I'm kind of tired. I mean, but I can. But if we find it, first I don't want to kill the Bloodhawks if we find any more Bloodhawks, because the other one died on me too freaking quickly. So I need to play with another one. But you guys can kill the rest, but just make sure we save one for me, okay?
Save one for you. You just mutilated that one in front of us. You didn't have to do that.
It was so fun. Oh my god, I'm excited to do it again.
Are you evil? Just like...
Nah, I'm just Fae, so I'm just chaotic. I'm chaotic neutral / good, but I'm very, very Fae. Like, very, like, Irish Fae.
Yeah, and the sprites are... they're cold. They don't tend to have a lot of positive emotion, especially not for their enemies.
Well, no, they're cold, but I mean, I believe they're also good, right?
He's good for the Fae, but he's just very sadistic to the enemies. And he doesn't see it as sadism or even as being cruel. He just thinks it's all a game when it's like that, It's part of, this whole cycle of nature going on right there.
Alright, I'll buy it.
Alright. So, back in character, Silver's is like, yeah, man, if we find one, just make sure we save one for me, because I hope another one will last longer than that poor Joker did.
And you notice kind of off to...
kind of look at him disapprovingly.
Alright. You notice off to your left, the creatures in the forest are starting to... It's almost like, when like rats are abandoning ship. Like, you guys kind of look off, and not in the direction that you saw the Bloodhawks coming, but kind of off in, like, a different direction. It looks like these creatures are fleeing. They're basically running through the forest as quickly as they can, in a panic. So.
Hey, Silverbest. So if you want to find your other Bloodhawk, it looks like we need to go in that direction. And Pixel points in the direction, that the other, forest animals are running from.
And he kind of smiles like, "Oh, you're right." And his wings turn like a mixture of pink and violet, and he goes he moves, and then he's dashing in that direction for the full 80 feet.
All right. Are the rest of you guys gonna follow?
Nocturne will tell the 3 remaining, Zenma and Pixel, we should proceed with caution and kind of turn invisible and follow Silver Mist from a distance.
Yeah, Pixel's just kind of like, just after the hard hit, she knows she's up against some really bad foes. So
Yep.
turn invisible, and I'm just going to go ahead and start flying in the same direction as Silver Mist as well.
Okay.
Zenma similarly will do so. However, she's going to do so from a sideways distance of about 15 feet. So that if the main group gets in trouble, she can provide backup in a secluded position.
Okay, fantastic.
I'll be probably 20 feet higher and 20 feet back behind Silver Mist.
Sure, absolutely. So it sounds like Silver Mist is taking point. So that's cool. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and make a... Well, actually, what's your passive perception?
13.
13, okay. So as you are kind of streaking along there, you just barely in time notice this kind of shimmering, thing kind of in front of you, and as you as you're getting really close to it, like, as fast as you can, you actually realize that this looks like a spider web, and this is something that isn't uncommon for sprites or pixies to encounter. However, you know that this looks a little bit bigger and more intense than you're used to seeing in the wood, and you managed to avoid flying right into it, but just barely.
There we go. All right, so
I see this web, and I beat my wings really hard. I'm hovering, a few feet away from it, and realizing it's a spider web, instantly my wings just go straight jet black, because this one thing Silver Mist does not like, and that will put him in a foul mood. It's a freaking spider. So he's looking for a spider up and down everything, long sword in his hand, kind of, hands, knuckles white hot as he's holding it and everything. He's just looking around, black wings fluttering behind him.
Nice. That's great.
So as I see Silver Mist wings turn black, I just fly up close to him and just ask him, what's up, what's wrong?
Spider. That's all he says.
And as I see him stop, I'll kind of pause, kind of holding my distance, and I'll kind of take a look around too to see if I notice anything.
Yeah, you do notice something. Turns out that the web starts to kind of shake and shimmer a little bit. And if you guys aren't familiar, Dice Stream is evil, by the way. But yeah, so you notice that it starts to shake and it starts to shimmer, and you guys know how spiders work. Clearly something is moving around on this web. But you guys are all still invisible right now, unless you mention otherwise. So, and as you kind of look, you can. Silver Mist is no longer. All right, so then you see this giant spider kind of coming down onto the web, and he's looking. He kind of looks at you for a minute, and I'm gonna have everybody roll initiative. Now, keep in mind that Silver Mist is the only one he can see. The rest of you are invisible right now, so...
That's a 10.
Can we roll initiative at advantage when we're, invisible or whatever? Does anything like that exist in 5th edition?
You get a surprise round, which means you basically are like a free attack or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm taking initiative. In fact, if you guys can, just post your initiative in the chat. I'm going to do this for subsequent rounds, but yeah, you will essentially get a surprise round should you want one. All right. So it's fitting that the rogue would get the highest initiative. However, what did 10? Wow. All right. And Silver Mist was 10. Was that with the modifier?
yeah, that's with the modifier. Dice Stream is evil.
Yeah. Oh, you still beat the spider. So, so you get to act first, and then we would go Pixel, and then I think we would go Nocturne, and then Zenma.
So I hiss under my breath, like, and I fly directly at it with my longsword, basically snaking out and trying to just cut a leg off and land some good smarting blow. That is a natural one.
Oh!
Excellent. All right. So, I want to do this, but I'm going to let you. If you want, you go ahead and describe it, or if you want me to describe your
Alright,
your
so
critical failure, I'll
my
either
sword
way.
comes up, and the spider, it's a quick little bugger, so quickly, it moves back. But I overshot because I'm feeling a mixture of rage and just an extreme desire to kill this thing. So am I
Yep.
overzealously? I swung too hard, and my entire sword and sword cock is tangled in the spider web. So I'm kind of stuck over there. So I guess I'm would you say prone, incapacitated, or what?
Technically, it is restrained, which
Restrained.
means
Okay.
that you can't take an action, and you can't move.
All right.
And just mechanically, to break free, I believe you need a DC 12 strength check. So with a 3 strength.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just stuck in here, just like hissing and just staring at it, like even biting at it occasionally.
Yeah, nice. So your arm is kind of stuck. You're like, oh no. All right, now. Oh my God, the spider got the worst initiative roll.
It's not a check, bro.
But I'm sorry. What was that?
Not a check or a saving throw.
So, you mean to break free?
Yeah, to break through.
It is a check.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately, they're kind of the same thing in 5th edition. It just depends on, what the circumstances are. But yeah. So now, if you wish to take an action, Pixel, you have the opportunity to do so. But the spider is not aware of you guys at this point.
And so, do I see that the spider is going for Silver Mist?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go ahead, since I have my short bow readied, just go ahead and pull out an arrow and aim right, for the big fat meaty part of that spider.
Okay. And because you're invisible, you can attack with advantage. So go ahead and roll 2d20. You take the better result. And actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you guys know, its armor class is 14. So if you hit, you just tell me. Oh my God, what did you just roll? A 2 and a 3? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you don't get a sneak attack either, which is too bad. Okay. Well, right, because you guys had +6, right? Yeah. So you miss.
So, as I'm there, invisible, and I see that the spider's going for Silver Mist, I have, I'm very serious and very steady, and I've got I'm readying this arrow, and just right as I just plink it, I was just jolted for a second, and so my arrow just went off to the side.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And you kind of, as your arrow kind of goes off to the side, and you look up and you realize that in the trees above where the spider web is connected, there are not coconuts, but there's these massive kind of nuts and cones that are indicative of these trees. And you also see that there is sort of dense foliage, kind of like vines, kind of snaking its way up the tree trunk. In fact, these vines are ones that the pixies would normally come in and clear out, and they just haven't made it to this part of the forest yet because they can end up killing the trees. So you start seeing this kind of terrain all around you here. So you've taken your attack action. You still have a move action if you'd like.
I guess I'm just going to hold steady at this point, because I'm just kind of I can't believe I missed this thing, and she's just frustrated because Silver Mist is here stuck, and I was like, what? I just incredulous, and so just there, just.
Yep. Oh, dice stream. It's terrible. Awesome. Okay, well, so Nocturne, you're up next.
All right, a couple questions real quick. So
Yeah.
I was about 20 feet back, kind of looking at it. Does it look like it's a standard-sized spider and web, or is it like unnaturally large, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, it's unnaturally large. This is very rare in this forest. I mean, the pixies and the sprites are good about keeping this forest, and the elves and stuff that inhabit it. So this is the type of creature that is out of place in this forest. And yeah, it's a giant spider. It's huge.
So like a pixie might be about the size of like one of our hands. Like how big is this spider? Is it like the size of a dog or?
No, it would be bigger than that. I would say it's larger. It's about probably the size of a horse. It's really big.
Oh man, this is a rainbow
wow.
spider. Okay.
Yeah, so this spider is so giant, it would just be extremely intimidating. So I'm maybe 20 feet from this web, but I'm kind of like so startled by just how huge this spider is. So I'll move back another 10 feet, so I'm about 30 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And with it, I'll say, Silver Mist, I'm coming to your aid, and I'll kind of move my hands and motioning and say a few words, and I'll cast Mage Hand. In casting Mage Hand, I'll try to use the hand to just pull him free of the web.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to say then in this case is 5 pounds of force.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would work. But
Yeah, no, that's fine. Actually, I'm going to make a roll here. No, so you kind of grab onto him with the mage hand, and it starts to pull him free. But the spider actually, sensing that it's, the tremor sense in his webs, sensing that he's coming free, actually shoots another kind of web out and entangles him just enough, not like necessarily more, but just enough that your mage hand is not able to pull him out. Yeah.
Okay.
Silver Mist is not cursing, but he is saying some very not nice words in Sylvan as this is happening.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And Zenma, you are up next.
Senma is still invisible, of course. Maybe about how far away am I? Pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna just traipse on up invisible, and I'm going to put my shoulder on Silver Mist and cast Guidance.
Okay.
And you're gonna get a. Excuse me. For the next minute, you're gonna get a D4 and add that to the ability check of your choice.
Alright, is there any other visual effect when you touch my shoulder, or no? Just for me to know.
No, there's no real visual effect other than me appearing and then flying away in order to not get spider fooded.
I gotcha. Alright.
Alrighty. And that'll be it.
Okay. Well, our intrepid Silver Mist now gets to take his turn. So if you want to attempt to break free of the web, you can do so. You have to make a DC 12 strength check.
I fail it. So I'm yanking back, still saying things I probably shouldn't say around kids and so and everything. My wing's black, they're beating really hard. I'm yanking my arm out, but with that extra addition to the web, it got one of my legs too. So I'm able to get my arm out, but my sword is still stuck in it. So now I'm trying to struggle and get my leg out. So I'm still restrained.
Okay, gotcha. So you pulled the arm out, but the leg got stuck. Oh no. Nice. Yeah, no, that's cool. And by the way, Jane, I forgot to mention you can use your inspiration point to re-roll attack rolls. So I probably should have. I forgot to mention it at that last roll, but you could have used it there should you need to.
Okay.
So if you need to, just keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also use those for re-rolling anytime you roll a d20. So Silver Mist,
Okay.
if you wanted to, you have the opportunity to use inspiration.
Yeah, no, I'm holding on for a minute.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. All right. And oh, hey, the spider gets to go. That's exciting. All right, and he gets advantage because you're restrained. Oh, except what was the guidance spell again? What does that do?
I have a D4 against ability checks.
Okay.
Ability
Four
checks.
ability.
Okay. Let's see. Yep. All right. He gets you. So he's actually going to grapple you in this case. So you're now completely restrained. And with that, he actually takes a bite right onto you. He kind of puts one of his legs up on you and bites you. And ooh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, ouch. So you take 10 points of piercing damage, and you also have to make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
Well, as his fangs come seeping, like basically penetrating through my leather armor and into my stomach, I let out this horrible screech, and then I almost instantly just fall unconscious right there, and I am down.
Oh, snap. All right.
So they've turned white and almost translucent and kind of lifeless looking as I just stop moving.
Gotcha. All right, you still have to make the Constitution save.
All right. That's a 10. Wait, let me have my guide. Can I have my guidance to that?
Yes.
All right, that's a 14.
Good.
As the
All right.
god of my mana just kind of like intervenes just for a second for me.
Yeah. All right, so you actually take another 4 damage, but you as you feel this sort of poison coursing through your veins, but you don't feel like it's a long-lasting effect as you then go unconscious.
So since I take that damage, because you take damage, you're unconscious, you take 2 failures. So should I go ahead and take the 2 failures now, or am I not doing that right now?
No, I'm not going to rule it that way.
Alright.
Yeah, so no. We'll just have you do your normal thing. All right. So, yeah, so you are now completely just kind of stuck in the web. His one of his, mandibles or whatever is on you, pinning you there as he just kind of bit his fangs into you. And you guys hear this shriek of pain come out of Silver Mist's mouth before you notice him go unconscious. And he's just limp there. The spider, with one, still restraining him there, kind of turns its head and looks at Pixel, but that's his action. So you can now go.
All right. So I have a question. Would it take my action to fly? Because this is what I was thinking of doing, flying up, on top of the spider and taking out my short sword so that I can stab him, or just get him right on the back before he does any more damage to Silver Mist, because I'm yelling out, "Oh, Silver Mist!" And so I'm not sure how that would play out or how that would work out mechanically, but
no, that's fine.
I just wanted. Okay. So
yeah,
do I?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I guess I roll.
Yeah, so you make your attack roll, and I'll let you know it's at his armor class is 14. So what you can do is just tell me if you hit or miss, and whichever the result is, just go ahead and describe describe how that looks.
All right. So as I am just so shocked, one, that I missed. And 2, the fact that my friend Silver Mist is caught in this web, and I see this spider on him, that, I grab my sword, I quickly, as I fly down, I quickly put my short bow away and grab my sword out and just start flying towards him. And I just have, as I'm yelling his name, Silver Mist, you know, just blinded and angry, and I just like go down, and it's just the sword goes right down the side of the spider and just completely misses him and in towards the web. And you know, I'm trying to, you know, hold back, you know, with my wings as I fly back to make sure that I don't get caught in that web either.
Okay, except I think you hit because don't you add +6?
Yeah, +6. So
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
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 So then I just get to on the side. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So yeah, go ahead and you can actually roll your damage.
So then the sword actually glances him on the side, through the side then.
Yeah.
And I still
perfect.
try to make sure that I'm not, because I'm like flying pretty fast. I'm trying not to get into the web.
Perfect.
So that would be how much modifier to that?
So in this case, because these swords are oh crap, what is the official term for them?
Finesse, dex.
Yes, yeah, the finesse. That you can add your dex modifier to damage.
So that's
Okay,
+4.
so that's 6.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, you definitely slash him, and as you do, you see this black, just like ichor, almost, you know, kind of spurt onto the blade. And the blade starts to like smoke a little bit, you know, and it starts to like kind of, the metal starts to like pill a little bit, you know, so it's definitely, this thing is nasty. And then, so yeah, as you're kind of on its back, like, you know, slashing its side, and then Zenma, you get to go next.
All right. Zenma is going to. Is there a way for me to burn with Sacred Flame the web in a way that won't cause Silver Mist any major harm?
You can try. Like, what are you trying to disconnect the web from the tree to make it fall? Or...
I'm trying to get the spider out of the web. I'm going to burn the web under the spider where it's resting, where it is.
Gotcha. You can try to target one point, that, you know, kind of near the back, but you can't guarantee that the whole thing won't, you know, go up and catch everyone.
Hmm.
But you can try it.
Instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly up above, where the webs are attached to the branches in the trees, and I'm just going to take my my sword, and I'm just going to fly and slash all of the webbings.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's great. And you can do that. In fact, just so you know, the armor class for a web is only 10, so you just go ahead and roll to attack it. Actually,
Sure.
You know what? Don't even worry about it. You don't even have to roll. You attack it, and you disconnect a strand of it, and it doesn't completely take it down. There's probably about 6 points that are connected that would need to be taken out, but you've taken one of the points down, and the spider definitely realizes that, and he kind of he understands what's going on, and he's now focused his attention on you.
Good.
Yep. At this point, he's still got Silver Mist pinned, but he's now focusing his attention on you.
Alrighty, I glare at it as I continue to fly towards the next target.
Yep. And so, Silver Mist, you can now make your first death save. And keep in mind that you do have inspiration.
So that's a natural 20, so I actually come back with 1 HP.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right, so what that looks like is, you know, the actual god that my man over here had put on me, you know, it's speaking to me because I share that same belief. I share that same God after I've known these people for basically my entire life. So I just, like, I imagine this great, beautiful, one of the guys, like an arc fail, whatever, like in my mind and everything. And my eyes open up, you know, like really wide, and they go completely white, and I go, and I spit out some blood, like coughing and everything as I come to, and my wings have to take on a little bit more color. And that's
all
my
right.
turn.
Perfect. Yeah, and Yeah, Nocturne. Sorry, I skipped you there for some reason. So you get to go next.
All right. So kind of seeing what's happened with Silver Mist getting kind of taken in by the spider and Pixel attacking and the ooze or whatever that kind of came out, I'll kind of see the urgency and the danger that's at hand. So again, from being like 30 feet out, I'll kind of start motioning at the spider. My eyes will kind of turn this black color with just blue kind of like darting across them, and I'll motion and cast this witch bolt at the spider.
Nice.
And natural 20.
Oh, excellent.
So,
all right. So the way I'm gonna do it is just roll your damage, add any modifiers, and then double it.
All right. So that would be 7 damage. Or, oh, you said roll the damage, then double it. So I guess it would be the 1. So that would be 2 damage.
No, it'd be
okay, I see.
I rolled 2 dice instead of doubling it. Sorry.
Oh, all right, I gotcha. Okay, and then does Witch Bolt add anything? I can't remember.
It doesn't add any modifiers or anything, but it does
Okay.
last, so you can potentially do it again.
Because Witch Bolt is going to basically keep hitting him until he either stops it, gets
Right.
hit, fails a con save, or just, something like that.
Yep, gotcha. Alrighty,
All right.
yeah. So all right, so in that case you deal 2 damage. You said.
Yep. So it does 2 damage.
Okay.
And so I just kind of shoot this energy forth, and it. I look a little disappointed as it's a little less than I expected it to do. So I felt like I shot it really well, but then almost just this spark kind of goes up and crackles when it hits.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. And it definitely affects the spider a little bit. He doesn't even like he registers that you're there, but because it was almost like a glancing blow, he kind of just shrugs it off, and then he kind of leaves Silver Mist where he is, and he kind of climbs up the web, and he's kind of looking at Zenma, and he is going to. Oh yes, you kind of see him turn. And from the spinners on the back of this, he shoots out this web at you, almost Spider-Man style. And you are now restrained and will need to make a DC 12 strength check on your turn to become free. Now, the other thing I'm going to make you do right now, Zenma, is make a dexterity saving throw, because I believe you were flying as this web hit you. So I'm going to say DC 15.
Rolled a 6 on the dice, but I'm going to use my inspiration to re-roll.
Yeah, okay, absolutely.
But I rolled a 5 on the dice that time, so I don't think a 9 is going to cut it.
Yeah, that's not going to work for you. So you get stuck with this web, and you're falling to the ground, and you weren't that high up, and I'm going to say you hit a tree branch on the way down. So you only take 1 point of damage as you kind of bounce off the tree and you fall, but you can't move right now.
All right.
And then it is going to sort of wait on its web there. But now we are back to the top of the order. So Pixel, you are up.
All right. So so that means that when the spider turned around to entangle Zenma, it got away from me, right? How far away is it? Can I still just get my sword and then just go towards the spider again. I know that I've wounded it once. I'm going to try and, you know.
Should be an opportunity attack too.
What's
Say
that?
again?
Should she also get an opportunity attack since we moved away from her, or no?
Yeah, actually, in this case, it did try to disengage from your area. So yeah, you would get to make an opportunity attack as it disengaged. So you can make that attack first.
All right. So I'll go ahead and do that. Do I roll a d20?
Yes. Yep. It'll be
Okay.
like a normal attack. Yep.
Okay. So I take it I hit it.
Yep.
And because my sword was on its side, I'd move it forward a little bit to bring it up this way to give more damage to it. For 7 points of damage. And then as I go back, I see it go towards Zenma. Try and hit it again. Flying towards it. And so as it moved away from me, and I sliced up this way, and you can see its greenish ichor blood comes spurting out. I fly towards it again. Just I see this spider going after my friends, and Zenma's already entangled, and just I'm holding my sword forward in front of me, and just all the force of my body is pushing right into it, and just hitting it on its body as I fly towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you make these attacks, and this nasty black blood is just kind of oozing out all over the place, you've definitely hurt it. You got a really good kind of jab right into its side, right on one of its like leg joints, and so it's kind of hobbled a little bit. Because of the fact that it's still on the web and if that's a comfortable place for it to be, it can still move. But yeah, it's definitely injured pretty severely at this point. And then I believe Zenma, you are up, but if you want to take an action, you'll have to make a dex. No, sorry, a strength check of DC 12.
All right. Well, I'm going to roll the die and get a not natural 0.
Not natural 0. Okay, nice. Nice. All right, yeah. So you can't really move. You're still kind of stuck in this like web. You're trying to break it off as much as you can, but yeah. So now you can still cast spells if you theoretically need to. You've got enough movement that you could, whatever, if you have a spell that you think you can use.
Yes, I'm going to cast guidance on myself.
Okay. Gotcha.
Alrighty.
And so that gives you a 4, you said, plus 4 or D4?
Yeah, and I'm going to hold on to that, obviously, for when I need it.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, alrighty.
All right, great. And so, Nocturne, you're up.
Since I'm up again, I'll try to keep that distance 30 feet and kind of keep my witch bolt going. So, again, energy will crackle forth, and another 1 damage will strike the spider.
All right. Yeah, it's definitely on its last legs. It's almost out. In fact, your witch bolt does strike it in another leg, and it kind of buckles, but it's not quite down yet. It's kind of like limping its way along this, this web. And so yeah, so your witch bolt is definitely hurting it for sure. And is that going to end your turn, or did you want to take a move action, or?
I'm just going to keep my distance and kind of keep going at it.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, Silver Mist, You are
Alright.
up. So you're stabilized, but you're still kind of
So-
stuck, I think.
Yeah, so Silver Mist is still stuck in everything. He's looking around, his eyes just kind of lolling and everything, and he looks down where his chest was torn open. And he kind of giggles because he's like, I'm like a sausage with no meat in it. But then he's, he realizes he's still stuck in everything.
Yeah.
And he's starting to struggle against the webs a bit more. Some color returning to his wings, and let's see what I got there. My dice is loading slowly, so don't tell me what it is yet, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to use inspiration. All right, so that's a 14, 12, yeah, 12 to get out. Huh?
Yep.
All right, so he breaks free and everything. He yanks his leg out, and he grabs his longsword out the web. He's still just kind of giggling at how he was thinking earlier. And he looks at the spider, and he looks back up. And he's just like, just floating very gently on the natural currents of the forest, just around, not attacking. Clearly out of it, and clearly dazed from the fact that he got basically one shot and knocked out earlier.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So you're up, and you're kind of in fighting stance, but I got you. So yeah, you got ready for next round, basically.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's see. So he's mad, and he wants to take revenge on Pixel, but he's barely able to function. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna roll at disadvantage for him. Oh shit, he hits both ways though. Wow. Awesome. All right. So, yeah, Pixel, you get stuck in a web as well as he shoots a web at you. And I need you to, because you were still flying, right, kind of above him? Okay. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 15.
That's 15. I get it. I make it.
I think it's a 13, right? Because you have a +4 dexterity.
It's 13, yeah.
Yeah, but I have a +2 to my proficiency bonus, and dexterity is my proficiency. So I have a +6.
I don't think. Does proficiency? Do you add proficiency to saves? I don't. Do you?
If you're proficient in your saving throws, yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So yeah. Then there you go. Awesome. So yeah, you're still entangled by this thing, but you manage to kind of, your wings are kind of like out of it, so you manage to kind of hover yourself down a little bit and don't take any damage from the fall. And it then kind of tries to like leap up and off of its web and into the tree, but it can't, and it falls back onto its web. And Pixel, since you are next up in the order, you can attempt to make a DC 12 strength check to escape from this web.
I don't. I'm struggling in this web, and it's just got me going too tight, and I can't move while I can keep myself aflutter. I'm just, my arms are just stuck, and I can't move.
Okay, gotcha. I think I'm going to actually do this in the right initiative order this time, and I'm going to let Nocturne go next.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to kind of just try to keep line of sight and maintaining my vision and kind of anger on this beast. Again, my eyes kind of are still black and crackling with energy, and I release another charge of electricity on it, hopefully for more than one. Oh my goodness. And for the third time, 1 damage of energy just kind of crackles amongst this creature.
Yeah, and you actually notice that this witch bolt strikes particularly true and actually kills it. So you can describe how your witch bolt kills this spider.
So, although I'm trying to give my all, I kind of feel as if I can't quite get over the hump, you know, just a little bit of electricity is sizzling forth, and then this last bolt just kind of, although it seems like a little, it seems to crackle more and just build up until I can almost see the spider's synapses just kind of fry, and it starts twitching and then stops moving.
Awesome. Yeah, and it kind of, as that happens and it stops moving, and then it kind of like falls over and just kind of slumps down and basically gets caught in its own web, and it is dead. So you guys have succeeded and you have all survived.
And with it dead, I'm going to try to use my mage hand to kind of help free the others from their webs.
And as he's doing that with his mage hand, I kind of, really distantly float up to where those coconut kind of fruits were before. And I'm standing on top of one, and I cut the stem right over the spider. So I ride it down, and as it comes out, I'm using the momentum with my longsword out, just basically burrow a hole straight through it, through the stomach, and just come out the other side. And you start giggling when I do that. It's like, haha, got you back.
Awesome, awesome.
And as the mage hand is trying to help, free me, I'm just like struggling against it even more, just get me out of this thing. And you can hear me just kind of like grunting and grossed out because, I just feel this sticky spider web all over me and just, ugh.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, and then you finally get free of the spider web, and yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, and so you guys get free, and you kind of complete your circuit and realize that you have, the forest is safe. Those bloodhawks, while it's weird that they're here. And there's something definitely not right going on in the forest. The fact that there's this enormous spider that nobody had seen, that kind of thing doesn't normally just appear. Your circuit shows that for now, anyway, your forest is safe. Your village is safe, and so you return to the village, and you report to Captain Spark Pine Dust. He's the sort of the captain of the Sprites. What you found, and he finds it particularly disturbing, and he calls in Queen Arissa, and she listens to the account of both the Bloodhawks and of the of the giant spider in the forest, and she's like, this is disturbing news indeed. This is something that we're going to have to investigate further. But for now, and she kind of looks out the window and motions as as twilight is kind of descending, and it's just that last ray of light. It's peeking through the window and kind of illuminates her, and she says, "For now, you guys have all done a great job, and we are forever in your debt. Please take this time to." Relax and recuperate and enjoy yourself in any way that you can here in my quarters. We'll make sure to have food and drink and everything brought to you, but we're definitely going to need to look into this further. So rest up because your services will be needed in the future." And that's that. Yeah, so if anyone wants to say anything or kind of do any last-minute role play, we can. Otherwise, I'll end the broadcast and then I'll stay on for just a little bit.
All right. So at the very end and everything, now that I've been patched up and all that, my wings have returned to the normal violet color. I look at everybody after the mission and I'm like, you know what? Next time we see a giant spider, let's just kind of cut down the web and then torture it before letting it kill someone and then torture it, Might be more fun that way.
Yeah, you're right. And those Bloodhawks, though, man, that was great how you took one of them down, and I just, ugh.
And I playfully, I collapse on the shoulder, I look it dead in the eye, I get really fifth, I'm like, one day you too will be able to play games like I can, and I just walk out.
Nice. Oh, you're not going to partake of any of the food and drink and anything like that?
Nah, he's gonna go find like a caterpillar or something and have a
Yep.
good old time with it.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh
peace,
no,
I'm out.
she's Pixel Sticks. She's gonna like eat it up, you know, heading right towards the wine and do that first, and
Excellent.
then maybe find something to eat.
Nice, nice.
Will also partake of the wine and say, "We were lucky this time. These woods are so very dangerous. Caution is definitely necessary."
Zenma chooses not to partake in the feast. Instead, she goes to her temple, breaks off a couple blocks of incense, burns them, and starts her daily rituals.
Awesome. All right, and with that, the defense of